Alright, here we go. Module 4, Lesson 18, Homework Help, 5th grade. Make sure you know that this is a bonus. Alright, oops, let me get to it. Alright, on this it says do at least one problem using unit form and at least one problem using fraction form, so I'm going to multiply. I'm going to show you both. I color code them. The unit form will be in red and the fraction form will be in green. I'm actually going to start off with the fraction form, and that's fairly easy. So what we do here is we turn this into 32 tenths. How do I know tenths? Because this is in the tenths. Last digit is in the tenths. Okay, and we also have the last digit of this one in the tenths. Okay, we're going to multiply these. Alright, so now we have 32 tenths times 14 tenths. Alright, so here we do the same thing as we did before. We're going to multiply across, so it's basically 32 times 14 and 10 times 10. So our 10 times 10 equals 100, so we already know that answer. Now the 32 times 14 is a little more difficult, so I'm going to take a break here and go over to my unit form, and you'll understand why I'm doing that in a second. So basically what the unit form would be 32 tenths times 14 tenths. Now, what we basically see now is that we have just 32 times 14, and then we'll take care of the tenths afterwards. Alright, the tenths times the tenths will give us 100. We already see that with the fraction form, but we'll also show you in another way. Okay, so first we're going to do 4 times 2, and that gives us 8. And then we do 4 times 3, and that gives us 12. For those of you that are wondering what I just did, first we did this, then we did this. Okay, now we're going to go down to the next one. I'm going to put a 0 there because we're going to do 32 times 10. Because this 1 here is not a 1, it's actually a 10, 110. So now we do 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 3 is 3. Alright, and then we add those up. And we get 8, 4, 4. And we're going to use our tenths. Oops, sorry, not tenths. 10 times 10 equals hundreds. So tenths times tenths equals hundreds. I'm glad I made that mistake. So now we have, so again, 10 times 10 equals 100, and that's why we have hundreds here. So we're going to have 448 hundredths. Alright, so that means we're going to have the 8, we're going to have ones, tens, hundreds. The 8 is going to go here, the 4 is going to go here, then I'm going to have my decimal, and we're going to have a 4 here. Alright, same thing here. We're going to have 4.48. Now, we can also check this because we have 1, 2 decimal places. So what happens here is we're going to go 1, 2, and then put a decimal right there. Okay, I'll show you that a little closer. So because we had these 2 decimal places, we're going to go from the back, 1, 2, and then put our decimal. Alright, so let's go ahead and do another problem. This problem has a 2-digit times a 1-digit, basically. Alright, we will go ahead and start off with our fractions. 16 tenths times 7 tenths, which is 16 times 7 over 10 times 10. So we're going to have hundreds here. And then I can move over to the side here and do 16 tenths times 7 tenths. Alright, 6 times 7 is 42. Then we have 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4 is 11. So we have 112 hundredths. Oops, there we go. Okay, so again we have 1, 2 decimal places. So we're going to go from the back, 1, 2, and put our decimal. Now, the other way to do it is 12 100ths. Well, you know that it would be 1 and 12 hundredths, which is the same as 1.12. Okay? Alright, so here we go again. This is a lot of math. If you know how to do your math, you're going to be able to do this. Alright, actually I'm not going to skip this one because it looks very interesting. So we have 202 hundredths. This time, the 2 here is in the hundredths place. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. 202 hundredths. And we're going to multiply that times 42 tenths. So we have 42 tenths. See, I'm already setting it up. I already know. But here's the thing. 100 times 10 is going to be 1,000. So we're going to have thousands here. Okay, 202 times 42 times 100 times 10. So we are going to have thousands here. Okay, that means that we're going to have our ones place, decimal, 1, 2, 3. So our last digit is going to be here in the thousands place. Oops. Alright, so let's move to the side over here. 2 times 2 is 2. 2 times 0 is 0. Oops, so 2 times 2 is not 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. I need to remember to put this 0 here because it's not 4 times 202. It's 40 times 202. So 4 times 2 is 8. 0, 8. Hopefully you get that. I went a little fast there. And then we add them up. And then this is going to be in the thousands. Okay, so I'm going to write it up here, 8,880. Oh, 84, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. 8,484. Alright, so the 4 is going to go here, then we're going to have an 8, and then we're going to have a 4, and we're going to have an 8. Alright, and same thing over here. In this one, we're going to count our decimals. We actually have 2 decimal places. We have 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now I'm just going to do the counting really quick. If I look at this, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. So I should already know that my answer is going to be in the thousands. Okay? So I'm going to have an answer that is going to be, I shouldn't put a 0 there. It's It's going to have my ones place. It could be a 0, but I'm going to do that. And then 1, 2, 3. I already know my answer is going to be that. Now if I do a quick estimation, I'm going to have 2 times 1. My answer should be about 2. Alright? So it's going to be probably less than 2 because we have 42 hundredths. I know that if it was 50 hundredths, it would be half, so my answer would be 1.10. So my answer is going to be less than 1.10. Okay? That's just me doing my math in my head. But again, we'll go ahead and do our 22 tenths times our 42 hundredths. Okay? You can see here 1, 2, 1, 2. 10 times 100 is going to give us 1,000 thousandths. Okay? 22 times 42. And again, we can go to the side here, and we have 22 times 42. Doesn't matter which direction we do it. No, we could put them the other way around, but I'm doing this so that you understand. Oops. This one's hundreds. That's a difference. Hundreds. All right, 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. Then we have 40 times 2 is 80. And 40 times 2, 20, would be 800. All right, again, we're going to get 3 decimal places. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. All right, so we have 924 thousandths. And again, as I showed you up there, our 4 is going to go here, 2 is going to be here, and 9 is going to be here. And since we don't have anything there, it's going to be 0. So our answer is 924 thousandths. Now remember, I said my estimations was going to be less than 1.1, which is half of 2.2. Okay, and I am right because 924 thousandths is less than 1 even. All right. Okay. All right. So I think that's a lot of help. Remember that there is an example right here. This 22 times 16. I'll do that really quick. 22 over 10 and 16 over 10. Multiply those. We have 22 times 16 over 10 times 10, which hopefully you already see is 100. So we have something over 100. And then we can go over here. We have 22 tenths times 16 tenths. All right, 6 times 2 is 12. We carry 1. 6 times 2 again is 12, plus the 1 is 13. All right, we put our 0, and then it's 22 times 10. It would be 220. Add those up. So we have 352, and 10 times 10 is 100, so we're going to do hundredths. Okay, so hundredths is, oops, sorry. We have our 1, 2 spaces here, so our 2 goes here, our 5 goes here, and our 3 goes here. Now, if I did my estimation, I would probably do 2 times 2 equals 4. So our answer should be close to 4. And 3 and 52 hundredths is close to 4. It's 3.5 with a little bit more. So that is close to 4. So again, 352 hundredths is right there. Now we have 1, 2 spaces, so that's another reason to do our 1, 2 spaces over here. Alright, I am going fast, but I hope you understand what we're doing. Okay, so let's finish this first one, and it's 4 times 6 is 24, carry 2, 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14, carry our 1, 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13, and then we have our 6, 3, 6, because I'm multiplying times 1, it should be easy. Add these together. And I have 4,704, and we have hundreds times tenths, so that gives us thousands. Okay, and that's 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. All right. So our answer is 4 and 704 thousandths. All right. So I think I'm going to stop there. I think you have enough examples from that first page that I did. Hopefully you will, let me look at this one here. Again, this is 650 hundredths times 45 tenths. Could I have written that 650 hundredths a different way? Yes, I could have done 65 tenths if I really wanted to. Okay, but it's showing that, so I want you to see 650 hundredths. Didn't change my pen, sorry. Times 45 tenths. Okay, the first one is 0, and we have 25, and then we have 5 times 6 is equal to 30, plus 2 is 32. Alright, then I put my 0 there, then I have another 0. Please remember to put this other 0, because this is 4 times 0. 4 times 5, or 40 times 50, will give me 200, or 20. Okay, have another 2 there. And now I have 4 times 6 is 24, plus 2 is 260. Add these up. And again, we have hundreds times tenths, which gives me thousands. Alright, so we're over here. We have 650 times 45. I'm skipping a step because I know that 100 times 10 is 1,000. And then I know my answer is 29250, 29,250 thousandths. Okay, let's do my estimation first. I would say it would be 7 times 5 gives me 35. So my answer should be about 35, because I'm going to round this up to 7. I'm going to round this up to 5. 7 times 5 equals 35. And I have 29. So right there I should know that my decimal is going to go between after the 29. And that's correct. I also see that I have 3 decimal places in my problem. 1, 2, 3. So that's correct as well. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And that gives me 29 and 250 thousandths. Alright, I'm going to do a quick setup for this. Eric buys 2.5 pounds of cashews. If each pound of cashew costs 770, how much will he pay for the cashews? Alright, so here we go. It says if he buys 2.5 pounds of cashews. Alright, so I might do a tape diagram. I will cut it into thirds. But I will only cut this, I will cut this one into half, because that's how much, and we don't know how much he pays. So our question mark's up here, and we do know that each one is $7.70. Cashews are expensive. So hopefully you see what you need to do. So it's 7.70 cents times 2.5. It's very simple. It's what we're doing up there. So do your best. May the force be with you. And the word of the day is, I'm looking around and seeing what catches my eye really quick. Lightsaber. Lightsaber is the word of the day. Light and saber. S-A-B-E-R. Lightsaber. It's all one word.